Another issue on gun violence in this country. You know, the president again today is calling for Congress to pass an assault weapons ban. We heard him make that same argument rather passionately during his State of the Union address. Beyond using his bully pulpit, you know, what is the president or this White House doing behind the scenes, especially since the State of the Union? I mean, have there been meetings with stakeholders, calls with lawmakers? I think Americans, you know, want to know if there's more to this beyond just sort of talk and keeping it up publicly.
So look, the president's not going to give up on this, right? He's going to keep at it. He's going to make sure that we keep the American people, American families, American communities safe. Now, if you remember, if you look at the last 2 years, this is a president that deserves a lot of credit. We've gotten a lot of things done. If you think about the executive actions that he took, more executive action than any president at this time, that's because he took this seriously. And he's changed the conversation, the landscape on how we talk about gun violence. And this is not just the last couple of years. This has been since he was senator. We talked about the assault weapons ban. He did that in partnership with Senator Feinstein. And let's not forget, when that got passed, we saw gun violence go down significantly. So all of that matters. And I would just announce for what the funding from DOJ as it relates to red flags. And as we know, when that is enacted, the more than $231 million in grants is going to help cities and states across the country. Because when you enact the red flag laws, we hear from lawmakers, we hear from state officials that it actually can save lives. It actually can work. And so all of these steps are crucial. They're important. This is a president that has been a long time champion when it comes on fighting gun violence. And so look, we're not going to stop. We're going to continue. But I would happily argue, and I think many others would agree with me and would agree with us, that this is a president that has done more on this issue than many other elected officials.
It obviously was a very different political environment when the assault weapons ban was passed many years ago. When you say the president's, you know, you're keeping at it, what does that look like? Because in reality, I think we all know, you know, an assault weapons ban doesn't really seem realistic right now.
Well, as you know, I mentioned at the top that there was a bipartisan, as you know, the Community Safety Act that was passed. Many people said that wouldn't happen. And 30 years later, after 30 years, we were able to get that done. So he's going to reach out. We're going to reach out to those very members, those congressional members in Congress, and see what's the next step that we can take. But again, we have the votes on our side. The Democrats have the votes on our side to get this done. So Republicans have to meet us at the table and get this done.